machines so that it records, hello, everyone. While you're coming in, no one's here yet. It'll record locally on our machines so that we can edit it if we want. I don't know if it's actually doing that.
It uploads to my YouTube automatically also. So
cool.
we can always pull it from there if we ever needed to. Like,
yeah.
Right. Kelly, what are we talking about today?
We're talking about stickiness, and I'm going to tweet right now. Me and Bubble. You know, your Twitter never comes up for me when I start typing it. It's very annoying.
No,
yeah. That's like fine. How do I type the underscore every time? Product stickiness.
It is like I really stopped using X. I don't know whether to get back on or.
Yeah.
I don't have a real like compelling reason talking about products and why we use them and why we don't. I don't have a real compelling reason to post on X anymore.
That's fair. I do it only because Bubble is on it. I'm gonna be honest.
That's why.
Yep. That's why. Yeah. Because I at one point was like, I'll move to Blue Sky because everybody was moving to Blue Sky, and then I realized, well, Bubble's not on there, and I can't tag them when I complain about the product.
How is Blue Sky though? Were there a lot of people there?
I mean, it was like it launched, and there was all this energy, and lots of people were like, I love it. It's like the old days of the internet. And I was like, I just can't figure this out. And then I gave up on it. So I don't know.
What was that audio only app that got really big during COVID that everyone was using?
Right. Yeah, it was huge.
No one could shut up about that.
Oh my God.
App. And then it was the worst. I mean, the experience that I had, maybe I was late to it or whatever, but it was just like, this is just a bunch of people selling to each other.
Why is this
fun? Why is this fun for anybody? God damn, what's the name of the app? I can't believe it's not coming. It's like Talk.
Does anyone know?
There's someone put it in the comments.
Tell us.
Somebody knows what app I'm talking about.
Yeah, it was like live podcasting in a way. So Jeremy was like, my husband is in podcasting, and so like he was in that first sort of group of people, and he was sort of like listening throughout the day, and then he did Clubhouse. Thank you, Francis. Yeah.
Thank you.
Are they still around? Is Clubhouse still around?
I don't know. I really don't care. I would never go back to that thing. That experience was so like annoying to me.
Now it's about hanging out with your friends.
Okay. Maybe I should go back then because that's why I went there in the first place. And it was like not that at all.
Oh yeah, no, I experienced it as like product, people like what we're doing right now would be on Clubhouse, basically.
Yeah. They did a hell of a job making that like private and invite only and all that. Like that was the lore of it. So that was good marketing.
Interesting though, not sticky. Let's talk about stickiness. Here we are today. We're talking about stickiness, product stickiness. So product stickiness is like a term, like an industry term. I didn't realize this. I thought it was just kind of like, how people use a buzzword that like jargony kind of thing that, I don't know, people just say. But apparently it's a concept that was developed by Facebook back in the day, and there's a formula for it. So product stickiness, according to this, Facebook definition is, oh my God, I'm gonna get it wrong. Monthly users divided by daily users, or maybe it's the opposite. And that's your score. And then I think times 100 or something like that. There's a score, your stickiness score, right? So it's monthly active users divided by, or opposite, daily.
Okay.
And so the idea is like, these are people, you have people who are like on your app today, right? But those aren't necessarily the people who like come back to your app. They may just use it that day, right? And then never come again. But then there's people who return to your app. Now, that definition is like useful, I think, for products that are habitual, that you want to create a habit of using, Instagram, Facebook, social, right? Or sort of like daily use things like a note-taking app or something like that, right? Like, are people consistently using your app? Do they think to use your app? And so that's kind of, I think, where the term came from. I think that's my understanding of it, just from reading online. But what I want to talk about, which I've been thinking about a lot, is like why we stick with products over years, like not just like as a habit, right? But things that you come back to over and over again, and that like products or brands or like, yeah, products or brands that you are loyal to for one reason or another, right? Beyond just it's good, right? The product is good or it's useful. So I have a list. I have a list of things. This phone being one of them, actually. Which
I can't wait to get into the Apple versus
I know
PC part of this conversation.
You may be surprised by what you hear from me. So everyone knows I kind of threw this topic at John, and I had been thinking about it for days, and I just kind of threw it at him like this morning, and so most of what I'm going to be talking mostly today, but yeah, I think it'll be a fun conversation. So okay, so the way I think about this is that there are products that we use for one reason or another, and that reason can be almost like engineered by people who build products to elicit loyalty, to breed loyalty in a product. I think this is a
Disney is a big one. Apple is a big one. These are the ones that come to mind like straight away. It's like,
yeah,
there's a brand, like people that use this are like, yeah, this is the only thing in the world that does this for me.
Yep. And there's competitors to those things, and you would just absolutely never even try one of the competitors. Or maybe you've tried, but you always come back, right? Because like, this is actually my brand. I have some affinity for it for some reason, right? So I'll give you one very stupid example. Okay, so there's this, and this can be across industries. This is not just software, but I think we want to apply it to software, right? So Jeremy and I go to this restaurant every Wednesday. It's called Dr. Beer and Mr. Fried. And it's like just wings. It's just a wings restaurant in Barcelona. And we love it so much. And it's not because the wings are great. They're hit or miss. Like sometimes they're great. Sometimes they're kind of weird. And, I don't know. It just depends on the chicken delivery that day or whatever. The drinks, we get the same drink every time. It is different every week. Sometimes it's amazing. Sometimes it's kind of shitty. But we go every week, and we're like, tonight we're going. And I'm like so excited for wings. It's wings night, Wednesday wings night, as we call it. And the reason that we're like so loyal to this place and would be devastated if it closed is the experience of being there in that restaurant is like just wonderful. Just like they know our names. They're like, Jeremy, they don't know my name because Jeremy makes the reservation. So it's like on the ticket, they have a table saved for us. They know our order. They just like bring it out to us. They will like move people so that we can, it's the best place in the world. And all the waiters have been there there's nobody new. It's been there the whole 2 years that we've lived in Barcelona. And it's just like wonderful. It's a wonderful place to be, right? And so like even if they stopped serving any food, we would still go there every Wednesday night to just sit in this place.
Just to be there? Okay.
There.
All right. I have an example. I think so let me ask you this though. Does the fact that the food sucks sometimes, does that like not even factor into your decision to go? Or is it like, oh, the wings might be good today, and it's kind of like this, you don't care at all? Don't care.
I mean, initially we went back because we were like, oh, the chicken's good, right? It's funny. The quality has kind of gone like, it varies. When we first started going, we were like, well, first of all, it's like barbecue wings. It's Wednesday is special night, and it's like all you can eat wings, which like we don't eat that much, but I don't know. There's something about getting a deal or whatever. And like, I'm from Texas. I love barbecue. So it's an appealing kind of like, it feels kind of like home, even though it's like Barcelona barbecue. It's not quite Texas barbecue. It's different, right? But there's something sort of, there's a bit of nostalgia in it that kind of feels home-ish to me. There's like, sorry, everyone. There's like a caricature of Donald Trump on the wall, which also feels a bit, I don't know. There's something that like I'm American. I identify with a political statement of some sort that's kind of jokey or whatever. Maybe the wrong week to be
picture like
talking
an
about.
American flag on the wall, like they're like they're just going all
No,
out. I'm like, this is what Americans want. Is that kind of thing?
no. It's like, I don't even think it's for Americans. I don't know. It's just like it's actually, there's like skateboards on the wall, and I wish I could like.
Yeah, I need a picture of this. I'm having a hard time visualizing it.
Okay,
But I
hold
know
on.
what you're saying. Like for me, what you're describing is like the Rainforest Cafe. Do you remember that? Like I loved being in there as a kid. The food
Okay.
was always shit, and
Oh, it's the worst.
I even knew that as a kid. But like the fish and like the feeling of being in a jungle was enough to like make me want to go and like bug our parents
Yeah.
to go, just because like you just get in there and it's cool.
Yeah. All right.
Is that
Yeah.
sticky? I guess that is sticky because you keep going back to it, right? Like,
You keep going
is that
back, man. Yeah. I'm gonna show you just really quickly. I have to share this. Okay. Add to stage. All right. So this is Dr. Beer and Mr. Fried. This is the inside of it, right? Skateboards on the wall. Everything's kind of yellow. You got these booths. We always sit in this middle table right here. And like, that's the
cool
front.
look. Yeah.
It's cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, I don't know, it's good wings. It's so tasty and it's like fun.
Sometimes
it's tiny. There's like, here's the bar. Yeah. It's just, I love it so much there. So anyway, that's Dr. Beer.
Got it.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Okay. So what I want to do in this conversation is I want to like log the things that make these things sticky, right? So I put together a fig jam, and Dr. Beer and Mr. Fried is going to have, here we go. You see my fig jam?
Yes.
Is going to have a sticky. All right. So this is going to be just like enjoyment, right? Like, it's just fun to be there. Extra large, enjoyment, large. What do you think? Large. Okay.
Yeah,
enjoyment.
That's good.
Yeah. Also, what is it? Like, it's personal, like they know us, which adds to the sort of like enjoyment of being there. I feel like seen or special when I'm there, right? That makes sense?
Yeah. So is the fig jam just kind of like, are we doing just like the thing? Like, is this tied to anything, or like all of the like the?
So like for example, this is something like the enjoyment of the experience of using this place, right? Experience, right? So this is like UX basically. If you put this in software terms, like just enjoying using a product can make someone loyal to it, right? The fact that it's personal thing. So I'll give you an example from like, Bubble is my sort of software of choice, right? It's the platform that I use the most in my life. And I know people who work at Bubble. I feel like they see, when I make a comment on Twitter, people will respond to it who work on the team. Like, it feels personal to me. I know them, they know me. It feels like a company that I have a personal connection to, right? And so I think that that's something that can be intentionally incorporated into a product, both of these things, right? So I think there's applications to what we're talking about. I mean, there are applications to what we're talking about for the products that we build. That's the idea.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got you.
Cool. Okay. I have another one. Let me look at my list. Okay. Okay. So you may appreciate this one. There was this. So you know what a bodega is. You, John, know bodega, right? If you're not aware of what a bodega is, it's like a store in New York City. I'm sure in other places in the world, but it's like a particular kind of like a corner store, you might call it, in the rest of America. I'm not sure what you call it anywhere else, but it's like a place where you can go and like get, I don't know, like snacks and
a 40.
A 40. Yeah, you have to be. Yeah, you could just like buy typically like stuff to eat, really. I mean, what else can you get at a bodega?
Usually beer or like a snack, like something, or like a sandwich, maybe. If you're really getting crazy that day, you'll get a sandwich from there.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh
But that's
man,
a
I love a
bodega.
bodega sandwich. Yeah, or coffee, right? So like a bodega is a place you go. They're open all night. It's like run by like a guy and his son or like his brother, right? And they're just always there. And you know, you go there for like your snacks or your toilet paper. You might get toilet paper at a bodega, right? They're just reliable places to go.
And they're usually like 24 hours.
Yeah. Just always open, right? It's like, yeah. So I moved to New York in 2007 and didn't enter a bodega for like a year. I was just scared of, I don't know. It felt like you needed to know the lay of the land, right?
Yeah.
And at some point, I'm sure I went with like a friend or something like that. I discovered that they make really good like breakfast sandwiches and shitty coffee in the blue cup that is like quintessential New York City coffee
that
cup.
the Greek pillar.
Yeah, Greek. Yeah.
We're getting real specific now.
Yep.
This is funny.
Yeah. So there was a bodega like 2 doors down from my office, and I went there. At some point, I started going there every single day for an egg and cheese on a roll and a shitty coffee. And I went there for 8 years every single morning. That sandwich was delicious, hands down. It was so good. The coffee is sludge. It just tastes fucking awful, right?
It's always bad.
It's
always bad every time.
It's so bad. But and I love coffee. So like I somehow would choke down this coffee every morning, partly because like I developed a habit of like it went with the taste of the sandwich that I got. You know what I mean? It sort of balanced out or whatever. But also like I felt like a New Yorker walking down the street with my blue cup and my like they wrap it in foil and then you get to your office and you're like, you know, like I went to that bodega every single day. Partly like they never learned my name. They didn't give a shit about me, but like I knew I got to where I knew how to order. I knew how, you know, I knew they needed me to like yell my order because there was like 40 people in line behind me all needing their, you know, same shitty coffee or whatever. And there was like this identity piece. Like I felt like, okay, now I live here and now I can feel that way. So identity, that's the hook for me for that particular bodega that I
That's a very interesting example that I did not see coming. But you like nailed that shit. That is like that's a very New York thing to do. Coffee and an egg sandwich, like every morning at your corner place. The dude does not give a shit about you. They could care less if you're there or not. There's nothing personal about it. But it is like I kind of need to know what I'm supposed to do. If like you don't know like why you're supposed to go in there, you're gonna be confused. It's just gonna be like, is this a mini mart?
So intimidating.
Is this like someone had a funny way of describing it once? It's like if you compress a Walmart down to the size of like a 750 square apartment, like that's what a bodega is. I don't know if that's right, but it made me laugh. There's always a cat in there. Yeah. So that's really funny. So that's the New York identity. Okay, that's good to know because like, not that I assume that bodegas are everywhere, but like it's something that I grew up around, so I don't recognize that as like a piece of identity.
Yep. All right. If you, John, feel like you come up with one, please.
Yeah, you're gonna have to drag it out of me. Give me more examples. Okay. Like I have a few coming, but I don't know how to explain it as well as you just did. You know, like I'm gonna have a hard time explaining this.
No problem. Okay, I have one that's software. All right. So I use SavvyCal for my calendar booking. And most people use Calendly, right? Calendly, I guess, has been around for a long, I mean, definitely been around for longer. I use SavvyCal for a couple reasons. Number one, I for my having been nomadic and moving around a lot, SavvyCal did a lot with time zones. You could like change your current time zone and schedule different time zone changes. So there were features that worked for me specifically that Calendly didn't have. Maybe they have it now. I haven't checked. And I have just consistently never considered moving from SavvyCal since I started using it. Okay. Now, I'll tell you why beyond the feature, that one feature.
The time zone feature.
The time zone feature.
That was the big hook in the beginning?
That was the big hook in the beginning. And I can't even remember how I heard about SavvyCal or why because I used to use Calendly and then I switched. And I don't know why that happened, but I did. And a few things made me sort of go, oh, I'm never going to go back to Calendly or really try another calendar app, one was that I followed the founder on Twitter, and he was sort of building in public, and he would respond to like user feedback on Twitter, right? And we had a couple of interactions that were like positive. I can't even remember what they were, but I remember that happening, right? And so I just now have like a friendly affinity for that company because I feel like the founder's nice and I liked him, and he's out there listening to users, right? Now, that was, I don't know, 3 years ago. So like probably the company has grown quite a bit, and I don't see him on Twitter, but that's probably because the algorithm has changed. I don't know. I'm not like actively interacting with this guy. I don't even know his name, right? But that early experience that I had with him and just seeing him even online felt like, oh, this is a company that like I like the vibe of. I like the sort of person behind it, So there was that. And also, this is kind of a not a through line for me, but I like that they were like the little guy. If that makes sense.
I do like that too. I do like.
Yeah, like Calendly does not need my money, right?
No.
Everybody uses Calendly, but SavvyCal, I'm like, I want to support this. Like, I don't know. It kind of felt like an indie hacker vibe, right? Where he was like building something up against this kind of big, widely adopted thing, and going, I'm gonna like make something that maybe is different enough that a certain type of person would use it instead.
Right? And you'd rather vote for them with your money rather than Calendly, right? Like give this product a fighting chance against something that's like already huge and
and in fact,
shareholders at this point.
You can like, if you're paying for SavvyCal, you can like remove SavvyCal branding, and I leave it on. I'm like, I would like for people to know about this company. I will leave the little logo on there, like I want them to succeed. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. So but even still, like SavvyCal is like the only, I mean, I know the draw for you was the time zone thing, but is there anything else that it does like that differently from Calendly? Like I can't imagine what other features I would need aside from what Calendly provides.
I know, right? Yeah. So and Calendly may have this. I can do so, like for example, SavvyCal. I have like a list of links. Like these are all my links that I can share, and I'm sure Calendly does something like this. But like, I can just like copy this link and send it to people, right? And I have links for all kinds of different things. Bubble coaching. You have a link, John. Audits and stuff like that. Specific clients get a certain link. So it makes it really easy to kind of like, I don't know. I can like preview it. I can brand it, with my own branding, if that makes sense.
Yeah. It feels a little more like personal, I guess. I guess this is also a little more customizable too. Like you can make it feel like you, as opposed to, I don't know. I don't think there's that much. I've never tried, but I don't think that there's that much brand. I'm sure you can put a logo or something there, but like making it look like what you want. And then on Calendly, and then different like links with different customizable, like, like that seems a little bit different. But like you said, it's for, I think that the thing here that really keeps you coming loyal to this brand is like, it's the little guy. Like that it's not, even if the features weren't perfect, or, Calendly, I'm sure could turn out a time zone feature just as fast as SavvyCal can.
Yeah.
But like it's the little guy.
Yeah. Little guy. I think about this also as like contrarian, right? contrarian. Like I am a contrarian in this case. I don't want to use the same thing everyone else is using. I want to use something that's like a little different and is not the sort of like obvious choice. And I'm not really that kind of person who's always looking for like, you know, I don't know, a unique product, and I'm not going to use the best product because everyone else is. I'm not that kind of person, but somehow with this one, I kind of am. Also, because like I can't think of anything to complain about with SavvyCal. It just does what I need it to do, you know, and it's always improving. It's always improving. So I am like very happy with it, and I see no reason to like try this other thing that everybody uses. That makes sense. So
contrarian is an interesting word that you use here too. I find myself, this isn't really related to products, but like I do find myself when there is a popular opinion about anything, I'm just like, well, what's the other side of this? Is everybody saying the same thing? I'm like, what's the other side? This can't be 100% right 100% of the time.
Yeah.
You know? And like, I guess that's a contrarian kind of way of thinking, but it's also like, why is everybody so convinced of this one thing? You know, that automatically starts making me think like there's got to be another way to this.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So that brings me to my next one, which is this phone right here. So I have always used an Android phone. I have never owned an iPhone. And like part of me just feels a little weird about that because I use a Mac for my computer. I have an iPad. Like, why wouldn't I also, you know, buy the phone? Right. And it goes back to my ex-husband was like absolutely a contrarian in terms of tech, right? So everyone's buying a Mac, he's going to buy a PC. Everyone's buying the iPhone, he buys an Android. we were married when the iPhone came out and when the iPod was like really, really popular. And he bought us, instead of iPods, he bought us Zunes. Do you remember Zunes?
No.
Oh my God. It was
no idea what that is.
It was just a brick. It was so big. It was like as big as this phone and like 3 times as thick. And you know, it's an MP3 player, right? You load your music on it, and there was like a whole Zune app, and you know, it's an iPod, but it was a Zune, and like no one's even heard of it. And he bought it because it was not an iPod. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was like not gonna fall prey to that, I don't know, like identity push of buying.
You're kind of like trying to resist the marketing and the popular opinion, right? Like, and I'm sure that companies have figured out that people do this and will market directly to them. So you're just kind of like, they're picking up the scraps from whoever the big person is. Like, this all feels very like there's no way to escape this. You can't get away from like good marketing, you know?
Yeah. Well, and one of the things that he would say about like using an Android phone versus an iPhone was that, and this is a true thing, that like, you know, Apple makes all their products really talk to each other really well, right? So like your watch is going to know what your computer is doing, and you can just kind of switch seamlessly between them. It's like a positive feature. But once you have that sort of personal ecosystem, you are effectively kind of locked into that. It's really hard to break out of that, right? So then if you decide you don't like this brand anymore, it's really painful to leave it because you have developed this, like, this is how my life works. Everything in my life, and my email, my phone, my fitness tracker, all the shit, right, is all on Apple. And so he was like, my ex was like, I am not going to allow that to happen in my life. So I'm going to have, he did have an Apple something. I don't remember what it was, but then he had like a PC computer and he had an Android phone, right? And so we just had like nothing talk to each other. None of our tech talked to each other. I mean, this was back in like 2009 or whatever. So like it wasn't that common.
So you were on Apple at that point, or
I wasn't.
He was the Android person, right?
Yeah, I couldn't afford it at the time. I was like poor. So I never had any Apple stuff until like years later.
When you say none of our tech talks, I thought yours and his, you meant like all the tech, like All the devices. Yeah. Okay.
All our devices didn't talk to each other. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. And that was like intentional. He didn't want that lock-in, right? And I have like adopted that. I kept that from that relationship. It's like the one thing I kept was like this idea that I don't want my whole life to be on one brand's devices. So I will always use and I will never buy an iPhone because of that. And it doesn't really have anything to do with Android. Do you know what I mean? It's just
I never thought of it that way. But I think I'm the same. I wish we could have a good argument about like the whole, Apple versus Android thing, but I'm with you on this one. Like I've never had an iPhone. And I am treated like a fucking leper by everybody that I know. Like everyone shits on me for having an Android. All my coworkers, all my family, like everyone is like, dude, you got to mess up our text messages with your shitty green screen. I'm like, do I tell you what fucking phone to buy? Like, I don't care what phone anyone has. I don't care about but I think I came to the same conclusion that you did, but in a different way. For me, it wasn't about like, I didn't even know that at the time, like that you could integrate all of those different devices together and it makes your life like easier. But what I think what I reacted to was the social pressure. Yeah, that's what I was like, no, why do I have to do that? Do I care what you do? Why do you care what I do?
Yeah.
And then you layer on that like Apple intentionally makes it more difficult to like interact with Androids, and they change that color on, and the video quality is poorer across devices. I'm like, you think Apple can't figure that out? Like how to send a quality video? Come on. Like we know that they can do that. Yeah. Exactly. So like my mine was more of a reaction to the social pressure to change that was like no. And again, it's like Android is still winning here. So it's like I'm not exempt from the marketing. I'm still being marketed to. I'm just like that side of this whole like battle that these two powerhouses are what do you call it for? So I'm not escaping anything. It's just a feeling, right?
Yeah, exactly. And it feels like a bit of an identity that like I am not going to fall prey to, I don't know, that type of marketing that all these other fools are falling prey to. Even if the iPhone is objectively better.
Because I'm smarter. I'm so much smarter and more, like yeah.
Anyway, I don't know what you would call that. Is that contrarianism? Is that like, I mean, it's not little guy, right? Like Android is not the little guy. Google's like the big guy, right?
It's like an I will not conform identity, I guess. It's like I'm not conforming to this. Okay. I don't know if that's contrarian or not.
No, I think it's different. Non-conformity, right? I might give some colors to these guys. Hey, okay, cool. All right, so non-conformity. There we go. Okay, I have more. If anyone listening has one. Oh yeah, go John. Yeah,
I would love to hear what other people like brands that people identify with in the comments. Somebody put some comments in there. We need more brands here. Please put some comments. Brands you identify with and why. I'll give you one, Kelly, because you're doing a lot of the work here. Vans. We talked about this before. The shoes. I actually feel I skateboard. For those of you, nobody knows this, but I skateboard probably like 3 or 4 times a week. There's a skate park in Queens that I go to, and it's like a whole community there. It's like a time capsule from the 90s, because even though there's young people there, but they're all dressed like in skater clothes from the 90s. It's very strange. I'm like, wow, this is so cool. It's like, how did you all find out about fucking JNCOs? Like who told you about JNCOs? Those big ass jeans with the huge pockets. It's so weird that like those are even still around. But anyway, when I go there, I wear Vans. And not because there's no real functional reason that I would have to do that. You can skateboard in any shoe. Vans are branded towards skateboarders, and I feel like a better skateboarder if I'm wearing Vans when I go there.
Interesting.
I've never thought of that until today, but I absolutely do this. And like it's like, yeah, I don't really need Vans, but I think that it makes me like part of the club, or like you know, especially if the Vans are fucked up too, because like skateboarder shoes are always fucked up.
And
Then you're a
one.
real skateboarder. Like I won't buy a new pair of Vans now because like
Nope.
it has to show some wear on it, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
little identity things. Like this is kind of like in the same realm, right? Okay.
Absolutely.
All right, let me think of more. That's probably the number one that came to mind as we're talking through this.
Do you have a brand of like skateboard?
I don't care, but the skateboard that I do have is called Death Wish, but I found it. I found the skateboard in Long Beach and I like rebuilt it. So it's not even a brand. I didn't even know what brand it was until like I took it to a skate shop and they were like, yeah, it's a Death Wish brand. It's a good board. You know, like I didn't know.
Okay. Got it. Okay. So identity. Oh, we already got identity. 2 for identity. Yep. Yeah, I think identity is like a big one that should not be underestimated.
Yeah.
Okay, so Loom is like, you know, you record short videos, send them to your clients team, whatever, right? Now, I don't love that company. I don't really know anything about the company Loom. It kind of bugs me that like everybody uses Loom. However, there's a few reasons why I have tried other. This isn't quite the best example because I'm not loyal to Loom. Like I don't have any emotional loyalty to them at all. But I continue to come back to it, even though I think like there's another company called Tella. It's objectively, I think, better. There's editing capability. I've met the founder at a couple of conferences. Super nice guy. Like I think it's better. And for some reason, I switched to Tella and then I cancel my plan and I come back to Loom. And I think part of it is Loom is just easier to use. Like somehow it's just easier. I can just like command space, LOOM, and then I'm recording. It's so easy, right? There's like 3 keystrokes and then I'm recording. Also, super easy to share. And people, this is the real reason I think that I continue to use Loom is that like everyone knows how to use it. Like everyone knows what a Loom link is. They'll click on it because they recognize the URL. Okay, this is a Loom, right?
True.
A Tella link, I don't know. And I actually don't know what the other experience would be if you're not a user. Like with Loom, you can watch a Loom without being a user. I'm pretty sure that's true for Tella, but I'm not sure. And, you know, it really is like a platform that's just like utilitarian for me. I just need it to work. I'm not trying to like build an identity on which, you know, screen recording thing I'm using or whatever. Yeah. And like, I think about switching all the time back to Tella because I like want to support this guy but there's something about it that is not, you know, like I just keep coming back to Loom.
I love the editing on Loom. I think that's probably my biggest draw to it. Cause like I fuck up my words all the time and I always have to like go back and like take out all the ums and like different ways that I want to say something. So like I have to go back and like edit the crap out of this video so that it makes sense to whoever's watching it. So that's what keeps me there. And yeah, I don't really think about the company. I don't think they're based in the US. I'm pretty sure they're I want to say Czech Republic. I want to guess, but I don't even know if that's true.
No clue. No clue.
But,
well, I will tell you that Tella has much better editing capabilities, and it's like really, yeah. It's better. It's a better product, and it bothers me that I keep coming back to Loom. But there's something about like using a product that like is so necessary these days if you work online. It's like you kind of want to use the one that like everybody knows how to use. You know?
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah. There's a social component to Loom that it's a link we trust, we know and trust now. Did we say that one on the Fig Jam yet? Like sociability? I don't know.
Like social adoption?
Widely accepted? Yeah, like adoption.
Yeah. Broad adoption, we'll say.
Yeah.
Purple. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that that's necessary for every single product, right? But in this case, somehow it feels like I just don't want to have to explain to people, yeah, I use this, I use this other company for this thing.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going in from it the other way now. Not thinking about a brand, but thinking about the thing that I think people gravitate towards about a brand. I think it's like there's a virtue signaling thing. I've heard people say this before. It's not really like what you are today, but it's what you aspire to be in the future. An example of this is a weird one. Well, there's two that I have, but I want to do the weird one first. You know those giant Stanley bottles
the mugs
that people carry around?
Yeah.
It's like Stanley, in my mind, the branding of Stanley was like for construction people. Like that's always what I grew up knowing Stanley to be. And now it's like cool to walk around like high school with like a big ass Stanley mug and to like carry your water in. And I'm like, how did they pull that off? So amazing. One of my coworkers explained it to me. She was like, it's like it's like you're signaling that you're hydrated and healthy. It's like I'm signaling health, right? And like that's kind of like I think what people are so passionate about. What is the CrossFit? That's like a very like those CrossFit people are very serious about CrossFit. I don't know if it's the brand necessarily, and maybe it is, but like what it says about them by saying I am a CrossFit person, it is identity, but it's also like I'm aspiring to this thing that I think this is like what I am now and what I want to be. Aspirational, virtue signaling. I don't know how to put that into a terse thing.
Yeah, what is that? Aspirational. It's like what it says about you, like aspirational characteristic. I don't know if that's right.
Yeah. I mean, we can always adjust these, whatever. And this kind of borders on identity, but I think the distinction here is like what I want to be, like what is it that I'm trying to be?
Yeah.
And like and this brand does that. This brand says that for me.
Yeah.
Like
and but what's interesting is like there's all kinds of brands, and there are a few that have like rivaled Stanley. Like, oh my God. So this is not a thing in Europe. Stanley, you can't find a Stanley mug. I don't even know if they sell them here, but like nobody walks around with a huge fucking mug that's like a gallon of water, and
that's very American.
Oh my God!
I think they make fun of us for that.
Yes, I do. I do. I mean, I look at my sister's cabinet, and she has a shelf for her Stanley mugs. It's made for these things. And it's got like big circles. It's like this plastic thing. Anyway, there's like a whole like ecosystem around these mugs. The funny thing is I was like, why are you buying more of these? They last forever. And she was like, no, they're gifts. The school gives them to you. She works at a school. The parents give them to you for Christmas. She just ends up with constant stream of Stanley mugs. And I will tell you, when I am in Texas, I use a Stanley mug all day long. I am sucking down the water out of that thing. It's beautiful. It is so good. But I will refuse to walk into a public place with a Stanley mug because I cannot. I don't know. There's something about it that just feels like I'm being a joiner, and I don't want to be a joiner in that way. Yeah.
It's an identity.
Yeah, it's an identity.
Rashad, Tella is good for recording the videos. Like,
yes.
Rashad, what's a brand that you have like a personal attachment to? And I'm wondering too, Kelly, now that you bring up the idea of culture, is like attaching your identity to a brand, like, is that a very American thing to do? Like, do you see a lot of that in Barcelona?
No, because we don't have good brands here. Like, no. I hate to say that, but like, I mean, the quality of products produced in Europe, like outside of like cars, I'm gonna get in so much trouble for saying this. It's just not like American products are better. I promise,
Okay.
I have a cold this week and I'm using tissues and I swear my nose is about to fall off because this is cardboard. You hear that? Oh, you cannot buy soft paper products in Europe. Doesn't exist. I go to America, I stock up on tissues and paper towels and stuff. Yeah. Anyway, I could go on for hours about that.
The okay, thinking across cultural boundaries now. One thing that I did notice when I was in Poland and Italy earlier in the year, and I keep seeing Fabiola pointed this out to me before I left. She was like, "You're gonna see everyone with these New York Yankee caps. Everyone's got the Yankee caps in Europe now with a chain. You know, they got the chain and a Yankee cap."
Really?
And I'm like, and
interesting.
This is, and I didn't. I'm like, no way. You know, why would they care about the Yankees? And then when I got there, I started seeing it everywhere.
What?
Everyone was doing this. Yeah, the Yankee caps and the chain. I'm like, what the hell is going on with And someone explained it to me. I forgot who explained it. It's like they don't care about the Yankees. It's a New York thing. It's like they're seeing New York, NY on there. It's like it's a signal of being street savvy. You know, yeah. I think that's how it's thought. I mean, I'd like to hear from someone in Europe who understands this a little bit better, but this is what was explained to me, I think by one of the Polish guys I was hanging out with. So they think that's says, I know, yeah, not from the street, that means something different, but it's an urban style that really caught on in Europe. One thing I noticed.
Interesting. Okay, Rashab, say more. Why do you, is it that it's the only option? Is it the best option? Is there something that you like about the company or how it operates beyond the service it provides? Curious. And Rashab, while you're typing that, I'll give you all another product. I have many products that I'm very
keep going.
Okay. This is fun. So there is a brand of so I backpacked for a long time, with a big backpack around the world, right? And there are many brands of travel backpacks, and the first one I ever bought off of eBay was Osprey. Osprey is the brand. And it's a big player in the backpacking sort of world, lots of products and stuff. And but it was just the first one that I heard about, I guess, and bought it secondhand, whatever. And I did buy one other brand of backpack and hated it. And I have never bought another brand. I've bought so many Osprey backpacks at this point, and I feel like for the rest of my life, I will only buy Osprey backpacks. And I just bought one for the walk I did around Spain, a smaller one. And I tried on different brands, but I just kept coming back to Osprey. And I think it has an emotional, nostalgia thing for me, because it was from my first, solo trip abroad, I bought this well-worn bag, and, it was just I have, when I look at even the logo of an Osprey bag, I just all of the memories of that trip kind of come back, and it just feels so emotional to me. And
nostalgia. Nostalgia is one of your stickies. It's definitely one.
Yep, nostalgia for sure. So I'm gonna add that one. Nostalgia. How do you spell that? That's one of the hardest words to spell, isn't it? Nostalgia.
There you go.
I did it.
Right.
Wow.
That's right.
Well okay, done. Cool. Nostalgia. Okay. Let's see. I have one that's not me. This is my husband. And I like this example, and I'm sad I don't have my own example for this. So there is this brand of jeans called Hiut, Hiut. And they do denim, and it's out of Wales, I think. And there's a whole story around this company, which I will briefly explain, right? So basically, the town where Hiut is located was the center of denim in Europe, or so, the UK, Europe, for a long time. Everyone who worked in that town worked in the denim factories that were there. And it was just a hotbed of talent in denim, right? Very specific kind of industry, right? Well, then all the sort of like clothing manufacturing moved abroad to Vietnam and other places, right? So this town, all the work dried up, and the town just started to shrivel and die because there was no work. This is what everybody did. The whole industry of the town was jeans, right? So it was a really depressed town for like, I think like a decade or maybe more. And there was this guy who had, I think, worked in tech. His name is David Hyatt, I'm pretty sure. And he had a big exit. I'm probably getting this wrong, but he had a big exit and he was like, what am I going to do next? You know, I don't need to work, but I want to do something meaningful. And he either was from this town or moved to this town and realized there was all this talent there. And so he decided to start a denim company, but a like high end, like thoughtful, slow growing, limited stock denim company. Okay. And so if you buy a pair of jeans from Hyatt, they're like $250, I think is like the minimum. They're expensive jeans.
Damn.
But they are like crafted really beautifully. And like, it's stupid, right? Like you could buy a pair of jeans for $30 and like they serve the same purpose. In a way, it's kind of a dumb thing. However, Jeremy loves this brand and he will buy those jeans because of what it does for that town and because of the story of it, like of a guy starting a company not to become rich, but to rejuvenate the livelihoods of these people who have spent their lives, you know, honing a craft, right?
Right. The
There's a
story
values
behind
match there. The story. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Ooh, that's a good one. Stories and value.
Yeah, the story, like the origin story of a brand is like, can be so compelling, can be so compelling. Same thing with Patagonia. That's another one. Like Patagonia, like, you know, it's outdoor stuff. This is another one. Jeremy will, you know, always buy Patagonia gear because they talk a lot about the environment. They don't want you to buy new stuff. They want you to get your stuff fixed instead of, you know, like planned obsolescence kind of that like electronics have built into them, things like that. So like these brands that match his values, he will spend more money on, and like they last longer. Like Jeremy doesn't buy, like he doesn't have like 20 pairs of jeans. He has like three pairs of jeans that he will wear the shit out of. They have holes, like, and the cool thing is he sends them back to Hyatt and they fix them. And then he has another year of wear out of these jeans, you know? So there is like there's a value match. I'm sure there's some identity, although nobody knows this brand. It's not like he walks into a room and everyone goes, ooh, Hyatt, you know?
Yeah, right. But
when he wears them, he knows, he feels like he's contributing to something bigger and more meaningful than just like buying a pair of jeans. Right.
Okay. That's another good one. Oh my God. There's so many. I've never thought this deeply about this.
It's fun, right?
It is fun. Rashab, highest discount and all my favorite restaurants, also better customer service than others. He's talking about Swiggy, a food delivery app in his area. Okay.
Customer service, I think that's a really important one.
Yeah.
I'm going to put that one. Customer service. Yeah. And I mean, we have to say quality, right? We have to put quality on here. Quality.
Yeah.
So what was a story?
We had like storytelling and like value, value, like your values are aligned with the company.
Values
match. Yeah, that's a better way to say it.
Match. Cool. Yeah. Okay.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
I have one more question with this last 5 minutes for you. What's a brand that died that you wish was still around?
Oh. I don't know. I'm going to have to think on that. I know I've got some.
I feel like there's got to be a bunch that we both like. Yeah. We both know, and maybe another talk with this one.
Yeah. I think there's
stay silent for a few minutes.
For sure.
What was the other? There was another topic, like kind of like a spin-off of this one that you wanted to chat about. What was that?
I want to talk about like brands that we stopped using for some reason, that we were loyal to, that we ended up leaving for some other option, and actually really ended up leaving, right? Like, I'll give you an example. My childhood bank, like, I got a bank account when I was 7 at Bank of America, which is one of the big bad ones. Now I know, but like, I kept my bank account from the time I was 7 until I was like, I don't know, 42 or something like that. And it was nostalgia. I remember like going to the bank with my mom, and like the drive-through with the little tube that shoots up the thing. I don't know. It just felt like a childhood kind of thing. I remember getting my first checkbook and learning how to, balance my checkbook, and it had the little logo there. And every time I drove by a Bank of America, I would think about that, going into the bank to get my bank account. And I never had any problems with the bank or anything like that. But like at some point, there was a monthly fee that I was like, why am I paying a monthly fee when there are free banks? And also then, I don't know, the 2008 financial crisis hit, there was like bank news where it was like, these are the bad ones. These are the not quite as bad ones. So eventually, like, I left that bank. And another part of it was traveling. I needed a bank that would work overseas and blah, blah, blah. So there was functionality there too. But that's an example of like a brand that like I literally was loyal to Bank of America. What,
Not one you would expect. Right? I feel like there's so many of those that like I just haven't realized, and that's why I want to like tee this up for like next week or whenever we do part 2, because there's so much more here. And for those of us, and I'm talking to myself right now, that think that you're like not affected by marketing, or like like I'm above this like the effect of brand identity and all that. That is just not true. Like, I am not. The more that we talk about this, the more I realize, no, there's like weird things that I do because I bought into some vision that some other person told me through their product. And it's cool to like realize that about yourself, because it's like, wait, why am I doing this? You can start asking yourself, like, why do I do this? Why do I do this way? Well, I got fucking Nintendo thing in the back of me here. This is Nintendo. There's a brain right there. God damn it.
Well, that kind of brings back one that was on my list that I feel like, I kind of have to talk about, which is my loyalty to Bubble, right? There are obviously other platforms now. For a long time, there was not other platforms that really could do what Bubble does. And I think still really it's not quite like equivalent competitors, but there are other platforms that can do a lot, right? But one of and there's a lot of reasons why I remain loyal to Bubble as a platform and a company, but one of them is the community. And I don't think that was marketing. I don't think that, but like the community was an organic thing that kind of came out of this product and the type of person that is going to use it, right? And that has really driven a lot of people to stay in the product for a long time. And so I think that is something that like you can manufacture that as a brand. And I mean, that's why there's a community lead at every tech startup, especially platforms like, building platforms, right? But I think it's harder to get like an excited community, that's going to do the marketing for you, that's going to be evangelists for your brand. And, I don't know. I'm sure there are companies that have kind of cracked that code a little bit, but yeah.
I think an interesting question is like, how much of that is manufactured, and how much like does it just happen around a product that people are really, really into using just because it's a cool product, that's an interesting conversation. Not everything, is always so artificial, So, I mean, that's cool. That's an interesting thought. All right, Kelly, we're good for this week?
Yeah, I think we're good for this week. This was fun.
All right. Thanks everybody that tuned in. We'll catch you all next week.
See you all next week. Bye.